Hello, everyone. It is a Sunday shenanigans stream. I noticed that there wasn't many planned, and I have a whole lot of thoughts about kittens and Delphi. And honest to goodness, it's a shenanigans stream. I have to show you my new t shirt because, oh my Bob, they captured me in t shirt form. Yep. All the time. Thank you, Christine, for joining up. Thank you, Wolfram, for the mod stuff. Thank you, Cynthia, retired firefighter, both for showing up and your service. Welcome, Jude and Eris and Wolfram. As you can tell, I think I am getting a cold, which is awesome. John, welcome. P. Lola's mom, welcome, welcome. John, I think I said hi to you, but if I didn't, welcome again. So we had a wonderful drive up to see the cats because the two youngest ferals were most excited. Welcome, Roy, to the channel. As always, we want to welcome new people in. We had a wonderful ride up there, but, it was the coming back and realizing that there was still an hour to hour 45-minute ride home that was not the greatest, but I have teased it enough, and I know everyone's really here for the kittens, and for whatever I was in full, Dilligaff mode, so I may have picked the world's most un unmatching outfit ever. There is my skirt. You can see my skirts. I am in my Crocs. I have my lovely lidocaine patch, thing on. Welcome, Wyatt Earp and Colorado Mountain Girl. Welcome, Viking Raiders. As always, we appreciate all of the times the Vikings come in. So we went to this cattery and there were cats everywhere. But Mr. Mo and I had talked and we really were like, if none of them speak to you, this is a marathon, not a sprint. You don't have to pick any kittens. And there were several there that were so cute. No Aussie cats. They were so I was looking specifically for a Maine Coon or a ragdoll, like the most dog-like cat you could get, but huge. A U-Raid, I love it. Actually, and I tried the, okay, I'm gonna mess this up. I tried a can of one of these, and very good. Mr. Mo did not like it, which means more for me, as always, a good thing. And I will say, last night I broke in, Nicholas, to the sour lemon marshmallow things. I didn't think I would like them. The entire bag has been destroyed by me. So, definitely a wonderful thing. So, I believe this is the mom of the litter. There is I'm still working on the name, but he might be, Captain or, Lord Dingus of Chaos. I don't know, but Dingus is a name that's coming up a lot lately for me. Oh, I don't wanna zoom no, no zooming in. Stop. What are you doing? For the love of all those Cheetos, I can't work. So there's just some of the little guys. They had a bunch of different litters of different ages. Um, the one that I chose will be ready in about 3 weeks. They go to the vet twice, and she is really, really responsible. We got to see all of her cats. She was so sweet to my youngest, most ferals, who possibly were more excited with the cat toys than the cats. Here is one that Mr. Mo kind of liked. We were looking for a darker cat because we have gingers, and as you know, Thor is all white, and welcome Audio Coffee. So, we got there super early, and we did not realize how close or I did not. This week has been somewhat of a boof, if you will. Here's me trying to realize where my double chin ends and doesn't, but there's a good picture of the cat. If you see the paws, these cats are massive. They're about 20 20 to 30 pounds. So this is the one that I was sort of looking at, but then Mr. Grumpy Stinker, he looks like Gandalf. He looks what I was looking for, and I know people have different ideas of what you're looking for in a kitten or, a puppy. With a cat, I wanted him to have an off you F sort of look. I wanted him to be grumpy with the world. So, he looks a lot like his dad. I know, that face is full, like, grumpy Mc I'm done with life face, and I love it. And he loved the boob shelf, so, you they had they were trying to get him off of said boob shelf, and he was like, "Nah, I'm here. I'm a dude." No, Christine, he passed away. We are not quite sure, but he is our guardian puppers from heaven now, so, uh, I really wasn't sure that I was gonna but if I didn't feel a connection with a kitten, we were going to pass and wait and see, but this one just kind of I fell in love, and he has the most interesting little nose, if I can get it up, 'cause I was doing that thing as chicks we do where, like, how high do I need to put the camera up so I look like I don't have 2 chins? That look or how high up. As you can see, I was wearing my Star Wars and patriotic skirt because I was in full no F's given mode apparently yesterday. Got to love Yeah, he's got a little heart nose. I thought he looked kinda like he had a little mustache. I don't know. He spoke to me and he had the grumpy face. So, Mr. Mo was like, "We're good," and I already have cat toys in my daggone wish list. You have no idea. It's bad. I've already put cat toys in, like, my Amazon cart, like, "Okay, I can get a couple of these," and Mr. Mo was like, "Did you buy a banana cat bed?" And I was like, "Not to your knowledge, sir." He might be Lord Floof, King of Chaos. I don't know. Or Emperor of the Pettyverse. He might be Lord Floof, Enter Emperor of the because he looks kind of old even though he's really young. It'll come to me. But that's what I did yesterday. Now, the interesting part is that we arrived a little early, and, you have 2 feral children that have sat in the car for an hour and a half, so forever. And we were talking to the lady because we were going to be, early and see if we could come early. She already had some people there, so we realized how close we were to Delphi. And I told Mr. Mo, "Can we please just, drive through Delphi? I just wanna kinda get a lay of the land." And I realized it was kind of confidence boosting because I haven't really driven up there, and I was wondering if I could handle a trip on my own. Here, I'll just keep him up while I'm talking because he's Dorbs. No, I don't need that. Anywho, um, so we went to Delphi, and y'all, none of this makes any more sense as I've gone through Delphi, okay? The courthouse is in the middle. Delphi is the county seat for, uh, Carroll County, so they're going to have the courthouse. They have the jail, like, I shit y'all not, you're my favorite turds, less than a minute away. So, Star Command was a minute away, and The CVS next to the only McDonald's, the only CVS in town, the only sort of pharmacy in town, brand name, is less than a minute from the police department. Y'all, are you telling me that they had no tips about "Thank you, um, CTY, thank you so much." Uh You know what? I actually bought they had this, really sturdy, like, base with a wire and a ball on top of it. This is gonna sound really bad, and I don't mean it to sound really bad, but it is. Um, it amused and occupied youngest, most feral just as much as it did the cats, so I did order one, and it will be here. I'm a terrible parent, but, when you have a hyperactive child and he is just as amused as the cats are with something, you just go with it. You just go with it because sometimes, life is life, and you're just like, I've had a long day. You like a cat toy, fine. I cannot tell you guys the amount of, like, cat and dog toys. Because sometimes you would say, "Okay, you guys get to pick one thing at Walmart if you help me with X, Y, and Z project." Z for our people that are in, Britain and and Australia, although I still contend that Z is Z, but we'll have that argument later. Um, and no lie to you guys, the boys would always want the squeaky toys from the animal section. I'm like, "We're not even in." Finally, I was just like, "Fine, just fine, I don't care." It part of being a parent is learning to choose your battles, and I definitely stopped fighting that one, but having this now seen Delphi and realizing that I can drive up there, the park entrance is where the trails are is pretty decent, and I I'm not gonna lie to you, this last week and week and a half, I've been really worried that my leg isn't gonna take a couple of different things, but I was looking at it and I was like, "You know what? Maybe on a better day when it's a little warmer and I've gotten my walking pad and really worked up to walking more, I can do some of the trail stuff. I can do some of this." So it's actually really confidence building, but it was also very BS confirming because you guys, you're telling me that you were 3 minutes away from Unified Command, Starfleet Prime, whatever it is. Your husband got you a squeak unicorn from the dog section because it made you laugh hysterically when he scared me in the store with it. I'm glad to know it never goes away. That is good. That sounds like something me and Mr. Mo would do. Oh, thanks. I just did my hair, actually, like I said, this last week has sort of been a throwaway week. I'm feeling a lot better, but I have now got the wisdom to know that I can't just jump into things again. I have to slowly build up. So that's what the Shenanigans stream is about, kind of to apologize to you guys because I know that this last week has been a bit of uh, well, at least on my end, it was a little bit of a struggle bus week. So I'm glad to be feeling better. I have all the shenanigans because holy fazolies, I was talking to my middle school daughter, my youngest daughter, and I asked her about, let me pull up the story because I was like, this cannot be real. So stop that, present, share screen, window. I was like, this is probably a giant, sort of thing that maybe people are going a little too nuts about, you know? just because there's nothing really in the news that people want to do except for, yell at each other about all the things. Let me pull this up. All right. Think this. Haha. Good morning, Ghost Fox. Um, Utah students protest furries who bite bark in classrooms, but districts say it's a rumor crafted by the internet. Okay. Hmm. I mean, I'm looking at these signs, and normally, and I haven't read this article yet, but normally if you go to a protest and it's maybe more on the side of what everyone wants you to think, they have, pre-printed signs. They have, miraculously gotten to Kinko's and made all these signs beforehand. In fact, they hand them out. This looks like a bunch of middle schoolers made a bunch of signs. This doesn't look like, w when kiddos do when the professional provocateurs, I don't know, professional complainers get out, and I don't care, we've got professional complainers on both sides. Hell, I wish everyone in the middle would become a professional complainer and just tell them all to shut up, but hey, I'm not in charge of nothing, I'm a redhead on the internets, okay? And I'm not even a real redhead, as you can tell by my roots. But this doesn't look like an internet, fakery to me. I don't know if Kinko's really exist, but our, vice president and chief does say that that is a reason that people cannot go, show their, IDs because no one knows where a Kinko's is. So maybe her and I just live in the past. Thank you so much, Tammy. I really am feeling a lot better, and, you know, it won't okay. Sorry, I have my phone on because I was waiting to see, I got Mr. Mo a new, I tend to do all of our Amazoning for some reason. I know, me at 3 a.m., it's a terrible idea. He's given me the power. But I, ordered Mr. Mo an office chair and myself a new office chair with, really sturdy attachment wheels. I guess they were like add-ons or something. I don't Anyhoozle, those are supposed to be, uh, coming today, so I keep getting texts like, "Are they here yet?" And I'm like, if you had ordered these things, you would know." My password and code name have never changed because I am too flighty to remember them. Hello, Squid Pro Quo. I hope you are having a good Sunday. Let's get back to the article. Dozens of Utah middle schoolers and their parents staged a walkout Wednesday to protest their district allowing so-called student furries to bark. I have no idea why it's still beeping. uh, and pounce on their peers, a deranged accusation the school said is nothing more than a wild rumor. Quote, they have their little tails, they get down on their hands and knees, and they bark at us, one student told the protest told conservative radio host Adam Bartholomew in a video that's been seen almost 27,000 times. And yes, check out Squid Pro Quo's channel. She is awesome. She is starting out, and she is I wanna have a panel show at some point. Again, being more realistic with my goals, this will probably be around summer, so a couple weeks, but, definitely wanna have panel shows with all of the people that are starting a new channel. So I asked my middle schooler this to see if maybe this was a thing, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, we have furries at our school. They walk around and they pounce on you and scratch at you and meow." And I am, like, over here mind blown. So I said, "Have you told your father that there are furries?" And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "Are you feeling okay in your school?" As far as I know, our schools do not yet have furries. She does go to a different school system, but she's like, "No, they're just weird." Now, here's the problem with indulging this, at least in my perspective, and this is more of an introvert, if I were still in middle school. As an introverted, socially awkward child, if I were allowed to subsume myself into a an identity that allowed me to not interact with people, do you know how damaging that would be? Because it would be so tempting. Because every single kid in middle school is trying on personas. You don't know who you are. You're trying out different things, you're learning your boundaries, and that is a difficult. Ask any person if they would take, like, $1,000,000 to go back and relive middle school. Most people are like, "No, it'll at least need to be 100,000,000." Okay? Because even the kids that you thought were popular and had it all understood were just as confused as you were. And if we allow kids to do this, we are stunting probably some of the most creative and observant and, maybe a little awkward kids, but we are damaging them beyond repair because we are allowing them. Again, most of us do not like to change, do not like to learn because it requires growth. It requires to go out of our comfort zone. I mean, that's the exact reason I am Mo in the deep end because when Dave asked me to come on, I was like, "Oh, this is a bad idea." But if it's a bad idea and I'm gonna do it, then I'm gonna fully cannonball into this and get out of my comfort zone. Now, it's all ridiculous. If this is being allowed and it's taking away from these other kids' educational experience, let alone if they are barking or pouncing or attacking other children, I mean, I can imagine a parent's frustration. It is this is this is so damaging in my perspective, and I have a really off perspective. But, I mean, as a socially awkward kid, as a kid who maybe doesn't feel like they fit in, who has a hard time verbalizing, their wants, their needs, their feelings, how tempting is it to kind of put on this persona that allows you to not do any of that? And it's so damaging because all of these kids middle school is kind of a trial by fire, and you learn who you are, and maybe you are internally just that weird, awkward, nerdy kid, hand raised up here. But, going through all my awkwardness and all of that stuff in middle school made me the person I am, and if we are allowing kids to just kinda bow out and pretend they're puppies. Well, So, I it's more that, uh, I have so many levels of pissed off right now, and my pissed off in most deeply is that we now have a tolerant system that tolerates to the point where we are handicapping these children. We are not allowing them to deal with sort of the social awkwardness that all of us feel, but you feel so alone in middle school, and it just ticks me off, and then on another level, it's like, so you're allowing a couple of students to disrupt the entire school because you know what? All these kids I have seen middle schoolers, okay? They are not motivated to do much, alright? But for them to all get motivated, for them to all come together to tell their parents, and if I were told as a parent, "Hey, some crazy." Okay. Some interesting child sprayed something at my child, which is assault and or battery. I can't remember because I always mix them up. This is why I'm not a lawyer. But if you allow these students to have a special god tier level of rights and, you know, um, kind of absolve them of any of their bad behavior, life isn't gonna do that. You know, furries are a punchline for a reason. Try that out in the real world, okay? And at the bottom of this, I want these children to get help to understand that we all feel incredibly alone. We all kind of wonder, "Hey, am I an alien that was dropped down here full Jane Goodall style to study the gorillas in the mist? Because I don't know how to do this humaning thing." And newsflash, kiddos, you shouldn't be watching this, and if you are, turn it off, tell your parents, because these are subjects that, they might not be cool with, but everyone feels like this. Everyone wonders if they're humaning right. Everyone feels a little awkward. We all see things differently. Celebrate what makes you different. Don't make, one characteristic your entire personality and just be a good human being. Good Lord, could we just teach that? Could we just teach math, reading, and possibly geography? More importantly, civics at a young age. Because if I hear one more damn teacher, and I swear to God, they're usually history teachers, they're usually a chick, which bears nothing about this, but like, "Our government has always been a democracy." You are a history teacher. I'm going to need you to respect the history we all agree upon, which is that we are a representative republic, constitutional republic, and ma'am, stop. Teach civics for the love of God, not STEM, civics. They let's see, another alleged that the young furries used to spray them with human repellent, and other students claim who complain about the animalistic behaviors get suspended. The protest was preceded by an online petition titled "Students for Humans at School, Not Animals, aka Furries." See, that sounds like something a schooler would write. So, I understand that the school is trying to tell us, "Oh, no. Oh, no. This is tinfoil. Let me get my tinfoil. Oh, no. This is all an internet conspirosity. We have never allowed furries. This is something that the right wing has made up, and it's just terrible." Well, ma'am, this sounds like the most middle school thing I have ever read, except they did put a comma in, which makes me think you are teaching grammar, so congratulations. But this sounds like the most middle school sort of semi shit posty title of a petition I have ever seen. So sure, it's an internet, mystery. Let's get Alex Jones on it and the Hardy Boys demanding that Mount Nebo Middle School administration walked back on a letter it sent to the student body a week earlier. The letter reportedly supported students wearing certain accessories, such as headbands with animal ears, in the classroom, a message that district spokesperson Seth Sorensen said was widely misinterpreted. The strange saga began several weeks ago when group of students cornered another group in the lunchroom and threw food at them, quote, because of the way they were dressed in school. No, maybe they're tired of them being a-holes. Look, dressed up as a pony, a unicorn, or a glitter farting cupcake. If your child is being an a-hole, they're probably going to get called on it, okay? I mean, and this is middle school stuff. At least they weren't throwing hands, which I do not approve of, and they probably all got in trouble, but holy fazoli's. Sure they were. Sure, they were just wearing headbands with ears on them. They did nothing that preceded this incident. Sure, sure, Jan. The kids were wearing headbands with ears on them, the district spokesperson said, but it emphasized that was nothing out of the ordinary. These are 11 and 12-year-old kids, so sometimes they may wear headbands like that. Sometimes the headbands may have a giant bow. Sometimes they'll get come dressed as their favorite sports hero. He said, "It's nothing like what's been portrayed out there." Hmm. They must take their phones because I am sure some kids, if this is really true, have video of this, have evidence of these interactions. School district, you better hope none of those pictures and or, videos come out to you know, well, call you a liar, liar, pants on fire. School administrators intervened and sent a message to students and parents reminding them to honor their slogan, which is ironically "Roar." Oh my god. This just gets better and better. There are layers of onion on this dumpster fire that are just beautiful. So, their motto is "Roar," an acronym. Respect outstanding, academic, and responsible. Okay, well, where's responsible when you're spraying people and or pooping in a litter box, allegedly? Let's see. And so they sent it out to all the teachers to share with students some information about ROAR, meaning that it's students in school. They need to think about how they treat each other. They need to be understanding and patient and tolerant of each other. But because the goal is to have responsible citizens in the school, and that involves treating each other with kindness. I have a question. So if you allow one group to have God tier, be God tier absolution of all of their actions because, tolerance, then isn't that being intolerant to the majority of students who would just like to be left alone? I'm sensing a theme here. That's when the letter was blasted across the internet with schools or with parents assuming that the school was siding with one specific group and supporting students' right to wear something that was deemed as a furry accessory to school. The debate was picked up by conservative talking heads like Bartholomew, whose wife is a far right candidate. A far right candidate. What, does she just want kids to be taught reading, writing, arithmetic, and civics? For the love of all that is holy. The controversial Libs of TikTok further blasted the false message, claiming that furries were terrorizing their peers. From what my daughter has told me, because I really was like, "This has to be maybe slightly exaggerated." I mean, the video I saw was of the gentleman trying to talk to a mob of 12-year-olds, instead of maybe singling out 1 or 2 to get a coherent story. I mean, if we're talking about civility, does one teacher get to have a shock collar when some of these kids start barking out? Like, do we have a little noise thing? Alright. We don't allow so, basically, the school is saying this is nothing but, a total make-believe thing, but, I doubt it. I doubt it. I think it's happening. My middle school daughter, who has no reason to lie to me, I mean, I I take with a grain of salt what she says because I'm sure some of it is exaggerated, but there is this sort of subculture going on in a lot of schools, in schools I wouldn't think they would, like Utah would happen, or, the rural heartland of Indiana. I mean, it seems so weird, and the school is benefiting because it seems so outlandish that unless the kids were able to take video or actually document this behavior. And my guess is that you could FOIA the security camera recordings of the school. I don't know how you would do that, but I do know that most schools have security monitoring, and so we would probably see some evidence. If they wanted to dispel this, they would say, look at our security stuff, look at this. Uh, we just have to, get it out. If it's not happening, then that's good because I would really rather it not be happening, but, who knows? It just it is just scary that we have decided to focus on anything but education in schools. And let me see if I can find the article, but there is a school in Indiana. Okay, local news is where I need to go to. Sorry, guys. I am a dingus. Follow me for tech advice. I'm sure it will be awesome. Alrighty, I got it. I am a genius in my own mind. So, talking about schooling, these are the shenanigans that are showing up in Indiana schools. Now, my school district, my lovely school district that two of my children are no longer in for reasons, um, my lovely school district has a 2-hour delay every Wednesday for teacher planning time. Every single parent that I know, they send out surveys the last 2 years. Oh, dear lord, I must be stopped, squid pro quo. I'm having way too much fun. I'm so sorry, Copper Norman Dopowski? Dop You know what? I'm not even going to attempt your last name. I'm just so glad that you're here. Yes, Snake Island. Now, there were accusations from the kids in the mob of children that this guy was trying to interview that one of the furries happens to be the principal's daughter. Now, whether that's true or not, take with a million pounds of salt because these are middle schoolers getting to yell things at a camera. So I don't know. But Indiana elementary school moves to a 4-day school week because who knows why. Lafayette Elementary School will be implementing a 4-day school week this coming school year. On Wednesday's special board meeting, a Lafayette School Corporation approved Vinton Elementary School's move to 4 days a week instead of the traditional 5. Lafayette School's Associate Superintendent, Dr. Alicia Clavinger, said this has been in the works for a year and a half. Well, I mean, I'm sure that this will allow teachers to go to so many more continuing educations about social emotional learning or, how to do the 900 people, birds and the bees Noah Ark. This is why I'm not elected. I would do that. With the days being longer, the teachers are going to be able to delve into our academic standards and curriculum with more depth and enrichment because the day won't be chopped up and segmented. Wait a minute. So you're going to 4 days, but you're going to make them 11 hours long? Let's continue because I want to hear the stupidity said out loud. Vinton Elementary will be the first school in the state to have a 4-day school week. The Board of Education approved the school's corporation flexibility waiver, allowing the school to have students in class for less than the required 180 days for the next 3 years. To make up for this, Vinton Elementary principal Cindy Preston said they were make the school days around 50 minutes longer. Chat, I need y'all to explain this to me. So the children will be much enriched by less than an hour length longer in school. The days are chopped up and segmented. Y y'all know we are falling in the education standards. This could be a reason why. Do you know how much kids lose in 3 days? I mean, it is amazing and shocking when I try to keep the kids, mostly the youngest, most ferals, I'm going to be very honest with you, reading or doing some sort of education thing that in the background so they don't lose things. We were all hellfire bent to go to balanced schedules, so there would be, you know, less of a summer break, and you would be able to have more cohesion. Have the test scores in your schools improved at all? No, no, they haven't. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that most kids, like my 2 youngest, most feral, are dealing with the fact that they had, basically phone-in teachers for 2 years, and a mom who barely understood technical stuff, so it was all on me too. But they didn't get that sort of help that they needed early on. We have an entire generation of children who have barely seen people talking without masks. They are so delayed in speech because you learn by seeing people talk. You learn by being around and immersed in your language, in your, sort of culture. Just absolutely, absolutely, we have failed an entire generation. I have not seen that one. The whole thing made me so irritated that if I couldn't. I love South Park, but when I was in it at that time, I think it came out because they're fairly topical. They're fairly with their animation style, they're able to, get things going fairly quickly. So when Disney lashed out at them, they of course made the Kathleen Kennedy saga. But, what I would suggest and what I would have loved at high school, if I'm going to be honest, and this would be a high school level thing. If I could have gone in earlier and have been done, midday to do work or something. I know they have a lot of programs now, but if high school would have been more like college where you can pick if you want to, have all your classes in the morning and get them done so you are free to do studying and work, or, you're not a morning person and you have all your classes in the afternoon. That's the kind of thing that works better for kids, not this, 50 minutes longer. But let's hear what Miss Preston has to say. It's more instructional minutes in 4 days than kids would get in 5 days, said Miss Preston. Each day will run from 8 a.m. to 3:45 in the afternoon, which she said will impact after school activities as they get used to the new schedule. For the first semester, we're going to hold off on our usual extracurriculars and let's live this schedule a little bit, Preston said. We'll start slow, then build on. Preston said the teachers feel rushed to get through the content each day on a 5-day schedule. She said now they'll have more time to get through their content. We are raising a bunch of ADHD rattled, geniuses. Kids these days know how to do so much, but what they don't know how to do is really interact on a personal level because for 2 years we kept them locked in our house. Why are you doing this? Any teacher will tell you there's not enough time to get everything done that's required that they want to do. They're so excited about this extra time. Again, it's 50 minutes. I mean, y'all have seen Iron Chef, and sometimes they can't even get, like, 6 dishes out. What the hell are you going to teach kids extra in less than an hour? You know, y'all should have had the cojones to go with the full hour. The half hou the 50 minutes is the part that's really ticking me off, and I don't know why I'm so irrationally pissed off about 50 minutes, but the fact that they're selling it like, "We're gonna get all these things done," like we were gonna finish War and Peace, but, that 50 minutes, it gave us all the time we needed. Clavenger has said they've received mixed reviews from parents about this change, especially those who work a 5-day work week. Yeah, that's the problem also. These schools do whatever the F they want, and they tell parents, you know, because my lovely school district, decided that the teachers didn't have enough personal growth time. They have a full summer. Uh, But they needed personal, preparation time. So every Wednesday we have a 2-hour delay. I have yet to see, what these teachers have accomplished in 2 hours that makes the delay worth it, and in fact, every parent generally votes against it in the surveys. Every parent I've seen, every teacher, because you know what it says to parents? "Hey, I know you have a job. I know you gotta work, maybe 2 jobs in this economy, maybe 5 and a side gig, but our teachers are special and they need more time." So, you know, we have childcare at the school if you'd like to pay for it, but otherwise you're on your own. That's the arrogance, that's the absolute dichotomy that we have between this is the root issue of a lot of the things going on in our society. We have a couple people at the top who think they have a really great idea, but they don't work in the trenches. They have no care we are run by middle managers, some of whom that could not find their head in a with 10 minutes and possibly a flashlight. Gonna go on a full Lewis Black rant. But you have these absolute people that are convinced of their intelligence and their rightness and their moral fortitude, and they make all of these ideal choices, and they go in and they put those policies in, and then the people working in the trenches are like, "This helps us not one damn bit and makes our lives entirely worse. Thank you so much. We appreciate you helping us morons." Oh, and congratulations on, going to school. I mean, it's hard. I've never successfully completed it. So, I am so proud of you that you got an associate's in occupational therapy assistant and that you're gonna go back and do bachelor's, as you can. It is awesome. I hope everyone my goal, starting this next month and, now that I'm feeling better is to really work on places I know I have a comfort zone. And it is, really, really, easy to kinda stay in that comfort zone, but, I want to grow and I want to do new things, and I can't challenge you guys to get out of your comfort zone if I don't do it myself. So, slowly but surely, I am going to work on doing things that scare me, but let's continue with this. The YMCA, we have a partnership with them, and they're going to provide on-site daycare on Fridays at Fenton. If those families that the 4-day week does not apply to them or fit in their schedule, or our intent is to transport those kiddos to another school. Well, and that's special. Other organizations, such as the Boys and Girls Club, are ready to step in and alleviate the stress for working parents. For us to collaborate with the school corporation and provide resources back and forth, make it an enjoyable learning experience that is a perfect fit for the community. No, this is screwing parents when they're already being screwed by the economy and the government. Thank you so much, Board of Education, for joining and making it a threesome. Might I recommend someone bring KY jelly so at least one of us could enjoy this at some point? Sorry about the rant. I'm just so tired of schools like pooping on parents with no regard to the fact that they have lives or that they, work or anything. It is just beyond aggravation in in all manners of speaking that they're doing this. I feel like, well, here's a we'll just do Kids Gone Wild because apparently that's what's going on. Baker says we had a government make a rule that all kids need to have longer days so they would learn more. Now the same politicians found out that the kids got dumber and didn't have time for fun. I can't imagine why. I think a 4-day would be great if they could get a 501(c)(3) to grant to cover costs for the 5th day, then have it that day. Yeah, absolutely. That's that's my problem is that it doesn't take into account the fact that parents have jobs. We need to pay for things. Ooh, you guys make sure to, set your notification, and I will probably, send you guys over to MG Law. I'm not gonna be streaming for more than an hour and a half or so. I just kind of wanted to give you guys cute kittens. I was like, "Oh my gosh, they're all kittens. It's amazing." Because you know, I have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. But and I know, Miss K. Griff, if one of the mods could put her link up, she does have a link or a show tonight, and she will be trying Korean snacks. So that is that looks like an awesome stream, so don't forget that. And here, a student reveals horror of watching girl 13 brutally bash classmate in the head with a Stanley Cup during an unprovoked attack. You know what? These Stanley Cups are these Stanley Cups, like, from made from the blood of Moloch? I seriously, y'all, I need to know, what the hell are they putting in the Stanley Cups that make them so crazy? Because they don't even have curse words on them. If you're gonna get a, $60 tumbler, it better have something funny on it, it better have a curse word on it, but no, it is just daggone plain, and they're full of lead. For the love of all that is holy, stop it. Stop, women, stop now. Stop it. Stop buying these things. Although now that we've assessed their use as a melee weapon, I demand that when I start playing Fallout, which would be scary and terrible, 'cause I suck at video games. Like, y'all, I can't even win on Mario, okay? My inability to do video games started earlier. I am like Hank Hill, I'm like, "He's on the video game again? The vidya?" But now that we know that it has, melee weapon potentials, I would like it to "Hey, no, I'm tying it in. I would like it to be a new, melee weapon in Fallout. In the next Fallout, I would like Stanley Cups to be included. This is so sad. What the hell is wrong with people? First of all, why are you getting your 11-year-old a $60 damn cup? You know they're gonna lose it, you know they're not gonna clean it, it's gonna grow all the mold in the little, top lid, and you have to watch all the videos on YouTube to figure out how to clean the effing thing. Then you have to bleach out because it's grown botulism. Yeah, so, again, I just I would just simply have a sponsorship for their combat division. Giblets in heaven, what is going on here? A brave middle school student has described her horror after watching a 13-year-old girl repeatedly bash a classmate in the head with a metal Stanley cup in an unprovoked attack, leaving blood everywhere and students traumatized. Quote, all I could just hear all this screaming and everyone running. All of a sudden, you just hear these terrible, loud bangs of a Stanley bouncing off her head, Emily recounted at the school board meeting. We had to sit in there and watch them clean up the blood off those tables and the ground, and we had to watch them take her out with blood dripping down her face. I will never forget that. This poor, sweet little girl. You know what? We don't often see real, bravery, but imagine the bravery and the courage it took for this young girl, this, future woman to stand up here and tell her story to the school board who probably all look like we've all had that one teacher, She just has resting "see you at next Tuesday" week, face, and they're all a bunch of, biddies, but she's there and she's telling her story, not her truth, the truth, what she went through. I hate her the your truth again. I'm fully on Nick Rekieta's side with your truth. It's good for therapy, it's good for trying to make someone understand your perspective, but it is not reality. End of. Jess Rubery, you have been grandfathered in, and you only paid $30. Although, to be fair to all the mothers and people who do have Stanley Cups, the amount of money I have spent on Sailor Moon stuff that most people would find, you know, absolutely ridiculous, and Mr. Mo doesn't even know the half of it because I use my fun money, but let's just say I have spent a huge, enormous amount on some ridiculous things. So have your Stanley Cups, I just don't get it, they should have curse words. Stanley, if you're listening to me, if you make an uncensored version, I'm just saying, I would love to have one with cursey words on it. Thank you, you're welcome. The parents of students at Pembroke Middle School in North Wales, Pennsylvania, slammed administrators for failing to heed warnings about the attacker who allegedly had a quote unquote hit list of students she planned to target. Sailor Moon is different and it's tax deductible. That you can put vinyl stickers on them, but then I would feel bad because I already have tumblers that have curse words on them, and they're just I think they're the same thing. Don't look at me, Stanley, but they feel like the same thing. They keep my drinks cold and they have curse words on them. So I am I am trying to be better with my purchases. Which reminds me, as another squirrel, tangent moment while we're here. So I had the best idea for my new office. Y'all knew this was a Shenanigans stream. I have my emotional support adult beverage. It is all the shenanigans. Any hoozle. On this wall, Mr. Mo is uh, going to put up my curtain that's supposed to help it look like a real office. And when I get my real office, I am going to have a wall of mugs. I have decided on my background. So I'm just saying there are a lot of mugs that have the cursey words and the C word, and I will be making mugs. I endeavor to have a merch store up at some point in the next month. Okay, so this is, let's see. I had this much left of, like, a peach margarita wine thing, so it's about that much peach margaritas. No one refilled the ice trays, and I was a whole lot salty, but I just took frozen strawberries because, well, I just wanted it cold, and I was kind of done with my children putting empty ice trays in the thing. I was just about done. So the rest is, if you go to Aldi, the Baker, just for you, Aldi, not the Aldis. They're the same store, just different. Um, I just put some sparkling water in there. I don't drink too much, to be honest. It looks like a big drink, but 90% of my drinks are cut with a whole lot of Diet Sprite or sparkling water. So, anyhoo, I'm going to have a background of mugs. So, I plan to pick up all of the ones that I find to have all the fun cursey words and just make a wall of cursey word mugs. It's gonna be awesome. And thank you so much. I don't know if it's just like my day, my one single day where God's like, "I grant you a good hair day with no strings attached." And I'm like, "You know what? I don't care. I'll take it." So let's see. So are we gonna get the school counselors? Are we gonna take this girl's parents to Awesome Possum? I love it. Now I have to make sure Lord Floof, Emperor of the Pettyverse, I don't know, Lord Dingus. I'm thinking the name will come to me. It really will. So the 7th graders told their guidance counselor they had heard, quote, "Something's going to happen at lunch," but school officials failed to act. Again, so I want these school officials on trial. I want this girl's parents on trial. I want her on trial. If we're doing this, if we are going to go down this path, then then these things need to be done because no, we're not gonna do and are we gonna go back retroactively to the Columbine parents? Are we gonna go that deep? Or maybe can we just accept that some people have, something going on, they choose evil, and it happens. And it could happen in a good family, and it could happen in a crappy family. You can just have one person that just chooses wrong. And it doesn't mean they're gonna choose wrong all the time, but they chose wrong this time, and they need to pay their dues. I am just oh, well, thank you, Ghostery. I am working on learning how to contour, and I swear this is gonna sound awful, but if anyone local knows how to do makeup, I would greatly appreciate it because I have a whole bucket full, but I'm confused. I'm like, "Wait, you're supposed to color in here, but not here?" I will say the people in, Sephora and everything, they're so nice, but it is so peoply and so perfumey and so loud that I generally do not stay in there longer than I have to duck and roll if I have to go in there. In all fairness, they did want to go after Lance's parent, but one was out of state and the other unalived before he went to school. I and y'all, here's the thing. I understand it. If my God forbid one of my kids were involved in one of these things, I was I would want all the vengeance too. But you got your vengeance. You got the person that did this. Maybe we need to break down why he felt like he was so alone. Maybe his parents should have been better parents. God knows we can all be better parents. There is no instruction book. There is no instruction book that says, "Hey, if my kid is struggling, but he doesn't tell me jack crap, how am I supposed to help him?" Or, "He doesn't want to do therapy. We can't afford it. We don't have insurance. Where should I go?" It and and I totally get it. I get it. I would look, y'all, I am the Highlander of holding a grudge. I will be very honest. It is a character flaw. There will be only one alive at the end of this, but I will hold a grudge until like the day that I feel like it's over with. I mean, it, so I get it. I get that want, that need, and I can't say that I would feel any differently. But the only time the parents should be charged if it is found that they are encouraging or acting to help plan it or found as an accomplice. I agree with that. I agree with that. look, you can look at a snapshot of anyone's parenting and disagree with it. What's right for one family is not gonna be right for another. I had to tell this to my middle daughter, who decided to tell a lot of her friends that little girls shouldn't wear, leggings with things on the butt because that's trashy. And I was like, "Look, first of all, I don't wanna get calls from anyone else's parents because I don't adult well with other parents." But I had to sit her down and say, "Look, what's right for one family may not be right for another." Well, I mean, I agree with her because I told her that. You just can't go all church lady on the other people's kids because I will get calls, and I simply do not feel like getting calls from other parents. I It just wasn't a choice that I would make. Again, I have to cosplay as a holy roller because I have found one set of skirts that really doesn't hurt my leg. I buy them about 2 sizes big, which means because they have little internal, like, loose legging shorts in them, and there is never a universe where Mo has thigh gap of any kind. Look, I could be down to my goal weight. My thighs have accepted Jesus as their savior, they're not going anywhere. They are here for the rapture, alright? No, no, that was the hardest thing. That was the hardest bag of things to take to Goodwill. I was okay taking the high heels. I still have a bunch of things that I need to take. I was okay with the jeans and the jean skirts, but taking the leggings in, really admitting that I probably will never wear another pair of leggings, for some reason that broke me. I cannot explain to you the sort of crying, like, sad face I had because it was just I have gained so many awesome things since I got hurt, but that bag of leggings that I had to take away and give to someone else who would use them because they were really nice. Also, not a plug-in, I am not sponsored, but if you go to the gym and you enjoy the gym and working out, CVG, so constantly varied gear, and GIRL, GRRRL, look, there's a lot of propaganda on that page, but they both make really good leggings and workout attire. And Feed Me, Fight Me. I was so sad to get rid of those. They had donut sprinkle leggings. I was sad, very sad. So these counselor back to the article after that long tangent of I don't even know what I was talking about. But, so these 7th graders told the counselor again, I am I am gonna be mad if these all of these people involved don't get in trouble because doing they weren't doing what they're supposed to be. You are supposed to be kind of the first line of defense for all of this. Quote, "When you get a phone call from your child crying, say, 'Mom, help, there's blood everywhere.'" Oh, I'm sorry. The 7th graders told their guidance counselor they had heard something's going to happen at lunch, but school officials failed to act, allowing the violent attack to unfold in front of students in the cafeteria. Parent Stephanie Pavlovac told WPIV, quote, "When you get a phone call from your child crying, saying, 'Mom, help me, there's blood everywhere,'" she recalled through tears. Eh, Look, you get that phone call of your kid crying and saying, "Help me, please. I'm terrified." Your heart rate races. You are fully in mama bear, honey badger, and honey badgers don't give no Fs, okay? So, now I have the lovely talent that or something in me that when I get very, very upset with people in authority or people that I really am trying not to go have need bail money to, I get very, very precise and kind of start talking like this. So I kind of get into this cadence and basically tell you what's going to happen, how I am going to act and take care of the situation, or how you should act. I become Liam Nielsen, I swear to God, because Mr. Mo is like, "You don't get upset, you get scary." You which is odd because I hate confrontation. I am usually shaking like a leaf as I'm talking to someone because I hate it so much, but you do anything to my kids, honey badger and honey badgers give no Fs, okay? Allegedly in Minecraft YouTube. The police in the community northwest of Philadelphia said the quote, sudden provoked violent attack unfolded around 1:20 p.m. on Wednesday when the aggressor came up behind the 12-year-old classmate and began immediately hitting her in the head with a Stanley Cup, the ubiquitous must-have tumbler for TikTok generation. Emily, a student who witnessed the lunchtime attack, said she would never forget watching her classmate being taken to the hospital, covered in blood. A security guard and teacher quickly intervened in the attack, which left the victim visibly bleeding from the head, according to surveillance footage viewed by the station. Now, I will say, as a caveat, that head injuries do bleed a lot. They look a lot more severe than they really are. We have because of all of the, muscly stuff in our face, we have a lot of very compacted blood vessels and veins and capillaries in our head. Besides, the brain always thinks it's the most important, and it basically runs our meat suit and says that we need at least 20% of all the food and oxygen and everything that you take in. Oh, yeah. I co Copper Norman, I am the same way. I'm just gonna call you Copper Norman D because I'm going to screw up your name hugely today. But, yeah, you know, usually it's, I get much quieter and make you want to lead me listen to me. Now, are they gonna start requiring 3-day oh my god, someone needs to do this. This is a terrible idea. This is horrible, and I'm not saying that I'm gonna make a skit like this, but if someone started making, "I'm gonna need your background check, and there's a 3-day wait for this here Stanley Cup Combat Edition." Oh, lord. This is why I don't have a green screen. Can you imagine the amount of well, I do have a green screen, it's just not up yet. That's why I'm getting the curtain rod up, but can you imagine all of the ridiculousness I would pull? It would be terrible. I am still going to be doing while we're on the subject of schools, I am still going to be doing the TED Talk for new female teachers to understand, and I think I will have a photo of She Devil, possibly my favorite Roseanne movie, and it's terrible. It is terrible B-grade acting. It just awful, but I love it. Oh, no, Eris, what you don't understand this is why I don't know if I have ADHD or, I choose to call it, humor variant syndrome, where I see a situation and I'm trying to think of 10 ways to either make a joke about it or make it funny. So, who knows? It's not ADHD, it's my own special variant. It's my Mutant X superpower. I just had hoped that it would come with abs. And your lordliness, I would be happy with just 3 abs. I mean, 1 ab would look weird, 2 is kind of off, but 3 is a very divine number. If I could just get that and still eat like a drunken toddler, I'd be super happy. Ugh. The middle school was put on lockdown for 8 minutes as police and first responders arrived. Police said the victim had to get staples in her head and is on concussion watch. Okay, no. This child better be flipping in. in juvie right now, in juvie. If this child is out, I am done. The parents of the children in the district described the heart-stopping moment their child called or texted after witnessing the bloody attack. Sarah Battery became emotional, describing a text she received from her son on Wednesday, recalling he text her, "Mom, I'm scared." Okay, you get that from your son in middle school? The fact that the school administrators let me go on a tangent here, but the fact that most of us are kind, law-abiding, conscientious, semi-Christian, trying to get to purgatory type people, you school administrators benefit greatly from the fact that we wish to live in a a society and have a social contract, and we did not tar and feather your asses allegedly in Minecraft for letting this happen, because if I got a text like that from my kid and you have a bunch of pissed off honey badger moms and a bunch of papa bears there, y'all all better be fired. You all were derelict on your duty. You let this child get a concussion, and concussions are no joke. They're no joke. You know, you knew this other child had a hit list, had planned to do something, and you just twiddled your thumbs. What, did you need a 4-hour, school week so you could have that extra 50 minutes to, you know, confab with each other about how you're gonna handle this student? So, don't you dare come to me unless this student's parents and these administrators are absolutely going to be on trial. Because I would the amount of years they probably took stress-wise off these parents, off these kids who will never forget this. We live in a nice, safe society for the most part, and to see this up front, up close. And God bless those first responders, those firefighters who probably had to see this poor little girl just, hysterical, not even understanding what happened, all these kids, and they went in and they took care of her. I don't know how you can do that career. Thank you, Cynthia, but, seeing all the sad and the triumphant parts of humanity day after day has to be so wearing, and we don't do enough for our support people. For our EMTs, for our, firefighters, for those people, for our vets, but you have these administrators making sure furries are okay. Yeah, I tied it all together. Even semi-tipsy, I can do that. As a parent, my child would no longer be at that school, and schools, you need to watch out. Indiana is a, charter school kinda thing. The school that I pulled my boys from, the school system, I registered a complaint on Friday. They did not get back to me until Wednesday, and by then I had already pulled my children, because if you don't care enough about my children to call me back the day I have a very serious problem, then you don't need my tax money. My tax money goes directly to the boys' private schools, and you should have heard the assistant superintendent. "We have lovely schools. We have art and STEM schools, you can take them by." And I told her straight to her face in the cadence that I normally do, "Ma'am, I would have loved to hear all about these schools that you have, but you still employ a person I don't feel is safe around my children. You still employ that person, they are in a position of power. You had no compunction about letting my message, hang out for 3 days. You are only upset now that I have pulled funding from you to another school. So, I will not be sending my boys back to your school system until they can successfully advocate for me and are far away from that person of power that could have any control over my family's life." So thank you. I'm sure you have lovely schools, and I would have loved to hear about them Friday." And I hung up. I was a mean person. I'm not gonna I really, 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 in my mind, try not to be an absolute B word to people. I try to remember that everyone is going through stuff, but then you bring my kids into stuff, and I'm like, kinda don't care." So, that's my story, or that's all the things, and we can bring back where in the world did it go? I swear to goodness, I am all off on space cadetness. But we found Mr. Snuffles. What? Wolfram, give what's pulling a Hayden? I have not done anything. I've been way off topic, but I mean, that's just normal. Yeah, I think he's gonna be Lord Snuffles, ruler of the ninth realm of chaos. I don't know. But it is really amazing how much shenanigans, and I will say that this weekend was really great because I have learned that, Delphi isn't as far as I thought. My leg was fine for the ride up there, so I'm pretty sure I can drive up there, and on a warm day, I am gonna put some real shoes on, and I am going to walk the trail, and I will try to take video because, I'm going to try at some point to be a real YouTuber. I am a semi-professional YouTuber, but I wanna be a professional YouTuber and go there, but it's oh, I like that. I do like that. Oh, well, yeah, he's a floof. He might be Lord Floof, regional manager of the Chaos Realm, because he does look like he belongs at Dunder Mifflin. He is so nice, and like I said, let me pull this one up. You know, he's a real dude because he got on the boob shelf and he was like, "I have found my place. I am never leaving. This this large shelfish region is awesome." And he doesn't have the, extra foot thing. I wanna say polydactylism. He doesn't have that. I wasn't too worried about it. I was simply going in to see if I really connected with anyone, and he was the one I did, and I passed him by a couple times and didn't even really look at him. I will. I hope you all enjoyed this. This was just, kind of a shenanigans stream, and I did wanna tell you, having seen the layout of Delphi, there is absolutely no way that these cops were that close to him, had seen him every other day. I mean, how many times do you go to CVS? Like, you don't wanna go all the way to Walmart, you need, calamine lotion because Jimmy got into the poison ivy, that kinda thing. So, it is really having seen that, it definitely inspires me more and definitely kind of solidifies all of the feelings I was having about there has to be something shady about it. Uh, it is just it 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 makes no sense to me. Again, you interact with these people. He's a manager at your local CVS. A lot of people interacted, and so the poor woman with the cattery was like, "So what do you do?" And I was like, "Well, I kind of have, like, this YouTube string thingy where I talk about a lot of court cases." And I was like, "Just between you, me, and the wall, this is some BS. I just done seen Delphi, and there is no effing way that, Boss Hogg and, Barney Fife weren't in the CVS all the time and, didn't say, 'Hey, that dude kinda looks like'" 'cause y'all, I'm telling you, if I lived in Delphi, I would be making every male person I know say, "Hey," get him a little tipsy. "Can you say 'down the hill' for me?" Like, I am that person. I assume everyone has, just shenanigans going on. So I would do that. Yeah, I do hope it sounds like the FBI continued something away. Yeah, I'm getting ready to wrap up. As you can tell, my voice is in and out. I'm gonna go drink some tea with honey water or tea with honey in it. Maybe some, brandy. I don't know. It could possibly help. Or it's an adult beverage. But thank you guys so much for sharing this with me. It has been, I know, a rough couple weeks for all of us. Losing Fry was unexpected and really sad. And for a couple weeks, I just kind of went into let's talk about fun streams and not talk about, anything serious kind of mode. And Mr. Mo bringing up the kitten, I wasn't sure if I was going to find anyone that I really vibed with, but this little guy, he was rough and tumble enough to deal with the boys. I have some pictures of the boys, but I don't wanna generally put my kiddo pictures up on the internet. Ooh, I do like Roscoe. I was gonna go with maybe Cletus, but I think he looks like a see, the problem is they have a male cat there that's named Charlie that he looks exactly like him, but allegedly, Charlie was not a father of this litter. Now, I think Charlie might have snuck in there with how much, little Cheeto. Ooh, maybe I'll call you Lord Cheeto, master of shenanigans. I think we found it. Lord Cheeto, he might be Cheeto, I don't know. But it just thanks for being there to share this with me, and I know this was hard on you guys too, so I wanted to share some good stuff as well, and then give you guys some updates with Delphi. How dare you? It is 2024, he can identify as a damn Cheeto if he wants. I identify as skinny. I identify as the weight that both my government and I know I'm lying about on my driver's license. I just hope I never get into a situation where I it's like the liar, liar thing where he looks at her driver's license and he's like, "In your bra." Look, I helped my daughter through her first driver's license. She's like, "Mom, I don't know her weight." And I was like, "You are politically and socially obligated to lie about your weight on your driver's license." I have been the same weight for the last 20 years, and sometimes I'm closer to the weight I lie about on my driver's license, and sometimes I'm farther away. But both the government and I have realized that we lie about these things. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, guys. Get some family time in if you want to do that. Get some rest time in. I will be back with Mornings with Mo tomorrow with all brand new news and the new setup with a different format so you can kind of see the headlines because YouTube. But I will see you all later. Have a wonderful day. And I am not sending you, I don't think, to anyone, but let me check because Lord knows I can do this YouTubing thing only sometimes semi-correctly. I am I am the oldest living child prodigy, what can I say? Let us see who is on. Do not forget that, Miss K. Griff is, doing her Sunday sampler tonight at 8:30 where she is exploring Korean snacks, so that looks really awesome since I just bought an entire thing. I think I bought Sweden, to be fair. Wait, for the love of all that is holy, I don't know if anyone is streaming. Let's see here. Alright, well, you are all free to go wherever you would like because I don't see anywhere to send you, but have a wonderful time doing that, and thank you, John. Thank you for the awesome stream. I love your spiciness. I wish I had better words to come up with than four-letter ones. Me too, but I have heard my boys using more cursey words here lately, so I am trying to do a lot better. I have a list of so my new motivation is every day I pick 5 things that I'd really like to work on. They can be actual tasks or just, behavior modifiers for me, like, uh, make sure that you're kind or, "Hey, remember, to go outside for 15 minutes, get sunlight, you are like a plant, go interact with people." Just other things that I'd like to maybe push myself out of my comfort zone because that was the major goal with this channel, and I've kind of backed off from that for the last couple weeks, but I am feeling much better, so that is it. Have a wonderful day, guys. I am sending you nowhere. You are free to go wherever you want without my guidance. Good luck and Godspeed, and have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. I will see you guys Monday morning at 9 a.m. And if you like newsy news at night, then I'm always on at 7 p.m. And usually I go on to stream with Shizzy, and we have all of the tangents. So if you like tangential talking, we're your jam. Have a lovely day, guys. Bye.